Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk. My name's Karli Barnett. We want to give you a look at some of the stories that we are following for your Saturday. We're going to have First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin join us here in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, I did want to give you a look at some of the things that we are working on today. So the first thing we want to bring up here, I don't know if you guys are a Bulldog fan like me, but your heart might be a little broken right now, and I understand because that was a heartbreaker. In case you didn't see, Alabama beat Georgia 27-24. So super, super close game. We have some video here. This is from the fan experience. So there's been a lot of buildup. It happened right here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Metro Atlanta. So we know a lot of eyes were probably on Atlanta News First today as you were tuning into that game. Now, we have all the highlights coming up for you later tonight. You can join us at 10 and 11. 10, you can join us on Peachtree TV, 11 tonight on CBS. That is where we will have our sports director, Bailey Burmaster. We will have our sports anchor, Emily Gagnon, and we will have our reporter, Joshua Skinner, bringing you all the highlights and, yes, maybe some of the lowlights from that game. Joshua Skinner, we know, is out there right now talking to all of the Georgia fans. He is a transplant, if you will, to Georgia, so he's a neutral party in between both sides to bring us the latest on fan reaction. But yeah, like I said, definitely not the way that my co-anchor Tori Cooper and I wanted that to turn out. We're a couple of Bulldogs ourselves, but of course we're going to have much more tonight. We hope you will join us at 10 and 11. Right? Bringing you back out here live. The next story that we do want to give an update on, this was something that actually made national news happening here locally in Metro Atlanta. We were out at the scene all afternoon yesterday, this after a political protester, as police called them, lit their own body on fire in an act of what they called extreme political protest. Before we dive deeper into that, I do want to play you our coverage from last night to get you up to speed about what exactly we were talking about and where things stand today. Outside of the Israeli consulate on Spring Street in Midtown Friday was the site of a horrifying display.
This was likely an extreme act of political protest that occurred here today.
Atlanta police say an individual with a Palestinian flag stood outside the consulate and, using gasoline, lit their own body on fire. A security guard at the building tried to stop the person and injured himself in the process.
You hear a lot of sirens and just fire trucks everywhere, so I stepped outside and I happened to see two fire trucks engines over there along with two Grady ambulances.
It was just been real hectic around here all day.
Atlanta Police, Atlanta Fire Rescue, and the FBI all on scene. Officials say the protesters sustained third-degree burns to 100% of their body. The Consul General of Israel released a statement saying, in part, "We are saddened to learn of the self-immolation at the entrance to the office building. It is tragic to see the hate and incitement toward Israel expressed in such a horrific way. The sanctity of life is our highest value." Friday night, after learning of the demonstration, a group gathered outside the consulate.
Initially, I was incredibly shocked.
There, in the name of unity, they held signs calling for a ceasefire.
I'm out here today as a Jewish woman, as a black woman, in solidarity with my Palestinian brothers and sisters, with anybody at all who's feeling just so overcome with emotion and distress and just seeing what's happening and not having justice as swift as it should be happening.
Putting out flowers and candles for lives lost as the war between Israel and Hamas continues. So, as I said, this was our report from last night. We were out there all afternoon when that news broke. As far as what we know today, we do know that protester remains in critical condition tonight in the hospital. They sustained very serious burns to the entirety of their body. The security guard, we do know, also sustained burns. We were told to their wrist, to their leg, but at last check, their condition is considered stable, but certainly did have to endure serious injuries as well. So we are going to continue to gather more information. At this point, we still do not know the names of anybody involved. We don't know the name of the protester, nor do we know the name of the security guard that tried to step in and stop this from occurring. But this is very much an ongoing investigation. We are going to continue to stay on top of the latest in this situation and bring you what we know both on air and online. Of course, you can tune in on atlantanewsfirst.com for continued updates. You can also download our app where you can receive push alerts for any breaking news or weather in your area. So I know that is a heavy story, but it is big news that we are continuing to stay on top of. And, you know, the beauty of the First Alert Desk here is to give you a little insight into our process, into our news gathering. I was out there all day yesterday as this continued to unfold. We were there into the night as those demonstrators gathered, as you saw. And so we just want to let you know this is news that we are continuing to make calls on. We are continuing to speak with officials and monitor the latest on what took place there yesterday afternoon. All right. Shifting gears here a little bit. This has been something that we have talked about a lot here at Atlanta News First. Unfortunately, animal shelters here in Metro Atlanta just overcrowded lately. Particularly, you've heard us talk about Lifeline, which operates the Fulton and DeKalb County animal shelters, just being overrun. Well, today, some good news. They opened a brand new Fulton County animal shelter. And tonight, our reporter, Bridget Spencer, is going to bring you more from that. But a very exciting day here for Metro Atlanta because after 5 years, Fulton County officials welcomed this brand new 50,000 square foot animal shelter. This building is located on Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Lifeline Animal Project, as we said, it manages the facility, says it's 3 times bigger than the previous shelter. And this new one not only has more space, but it also has more resources there, like a full-service clinic that offers low-cost spay and neuter services. Lifeline says the old shelter, which was located on Marietta Boulevard, was more than 40 years old. So now this new facility is designed to hold more than 375 dogs, nearly 100 cats, and there's room for small animals and livestock. And they say this is going to be an important step for the county in getting to save more animals and find more animals homes. Like we said, this is coming at a time where this has just been an unfortunate year as far as shelter capacity. A lot of animals being surrendered to the shelters and needing to find more cats and dogs, some good loving homes. So that is officially open as of today. Bridget Spencer is going to have more for you a little bit later on, but certainly a lot more space, a lot more resources, getting a lot more animals connected with their forever families. So we certainly like to see that. And it is the weekend after all, so I don't know if you have your Christmas tree up yet. I admittedly don't have mine up yet, but I do have to get there. And if you're in the market for a Christmas tree, there is some good news, you could say, and that's that Christmas tree prices are actually stabilizing since last year. They went up last year, but now they seem to be pretty on par with this time last year. So in other words, they haven't exactly gone down, but they haven't gotten worse, so that's a start right there. Christmas tree lots in Atlanta, they're reporting that these prices have stabilized since last year. As we said, in recent years, tree prices spiked due to inflation, transportation costs, and actually a shortage of 8 to 10-foot trees. Rob Dillon is owner of Little Rob's Christmas Trees, and he says the average cost went up 30 to 40% in 2021. So certainly this year we are seeing the result of, just staying stable. The American Christmas Tree Association says not all cities are going to see this. At least this is what we are experiencing in Metro Atlanta. Give you some perspective here. In 2022, 65% of people polled say they spent between $40 to $100 on their Christmas tree. In 2021, the average tree cost was $61 or so. And when it comes to artificial trees, maybe you're more of an artificial tree person. In 2021, the average tree cost was $98. So if you haven't gotten your tree yet, like me, probably need to jump on it. And certainly, we want to see how the season is going to be feeling because today was actually feeling
A little warm.
a little warmer.
Kinda muggy.
We have First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin joining us. Let's go ahead and take a look outside right now because, Cutter, wait a second. This didn't exactly feel like winter today. Not very seasonal.
One of those weird days where it looked like winter, and then you walked outside, felt a little bit more like spring. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s this afternoon. Keep in mind, we should be in the mid to upper 50s for an average high this time of year, so certainly it is a little bit on the mild side, and we still have that condition out there this evening. You can see live outside that we still have all of the gloom, those low clouds technically, still a few hundred, several hundred feet off of the ground, but low enough to obscure some of the buildings out there this evening, really the tops of the buildings. That's what we're noticing outside this evening across Midtown Atlanta. So we have the gloom. We're going to continue to have it for quite a bit longer. Again, thank you for tuning in and for watching. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin. And I want to thank you for tuning in, watching ANF Plus. I want to remind you, if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, YouTube, the place to be. I'm monitoring the stream right now, and we actually do have quite a few comments coming in. Hello to you, Alex. And someone with the avatar Very, also Angelo saying, oh, thanks, that means a lot there, Angelo. Thank you for watching. And Angelo saying today's National Mutt Day, talking about the dogs. And thank you again, everyone watching, whether you're watching in Metro Atlanta or North Georgia or beyond. If you're streaming, watching ANF Plus, thanks for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and dive in, talk about the forecast right now. We do still have a chance of rain, and some areas are still seeing a little bit of rain out there this evening, though it is mainly in the form of sprinkles and very spotty light rain showers. Case in point, outside doesn't look like it's raining much, and it's really not, but walked outside just a bit ago, and there was a little bit of that drizzle outside this evening. So it's not completely dry, but drier than what was initially forecast to be. Again, most of the rain staying just south of North Georgia as well as north of North Georgia. We're going to load up our weather graphics now. And again, we were watching that first alert for widespread rain. Unfortunately, though, two kind of fire hoses of moisture, so to speak. One aiming areas to our south along I-10, one just to our north and west, and in between, we've had a little bit of rain. Northwest side, north side, certainly you all cast in on some of that free water this morning. And now we're starting to see a little bit redevelop, but you kind of see a void there. There's just an area really kind of centered in on North Georgia and Metro Atlanta that is not getting all that much rain out there this evening. And we'll keep your rain chance fairly low across the area this evening, overnight tonight. A good night to, speaking of the holidays, if you're going out wanting to look at Christmas lights, a decent night to do so. May not feel festive, but hey, at least there's only a little bit of rain to contend with out there. That rain chance will increase just a bit hour by hour for late evening plans on into the wee hours of your Sunday morning. Temperatures nearly steady in the low to mid 60s. Muggy clouds, drizzle, spotty light rain showers with a south wind and light southwesterly breeze averaging 5 to 10 miles an hour. So just a light breeze. Temperatures tomorrow morning, not much different than this morning. There will be a little bit of shower activity early in the morning. Low temperatures, 61, 62, kind of the average tomorrow around the metro. Some a little bit cooler further outlying. Notice well to our north and west, the deeper greens and even some blues. That's the leading edge of cooler air starting to work its way into North Georgia and Metro Atlanta, but we will not be on the cool side of that, quote-unquote cool front until we get into the afternoon. So here is the hour-by-hour forecast. Going to load it up for you again. First alert, if you do have any mid-evening plans, there is a little bit of rain out there. Bring the umbrella, check the app just in case, but in reality, I think you're just fine for most of the plans coming up this evening. Looks gloomy, but just not that much actual rain. We'll keep that first alert going just in case about 10, 11 p.m. And then, of course, everyone's pretty much in by 11 midnight, and we are tracking just an isolated chance of rain to a widely scattered chance, about 30-40% as we get into the wee hours of our Sunday morning. I think most of the rain is out of here, even the spotty stuff, by 8 and 9 a.m. We will keep the clouds, though, at least a lot of them. Hopefully a little bit of sunshine as we get into tomorrow afternoon, but certainly not sunny. Just not as gloomy as it was today. Those clouds a little higher in the sky, maybe peaks of sunshine back in the first alert forecast. Temperatures peaking mid to upper 60s, many spots, some nearing 70 tomorrow afternoon, going 68 in the city of Atlanta. That is well above average, and that is technically warmer than today. Richard is watching from Phoenix. Thanks for watching. And again, if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns about North Georgia, Metro Atlanta, feel free to give me a holler and ask those weather questions. Any comments, concerns? Going forward into Sunday afternoon, again, mix of sun and clouds. Not a sunny Sunday, but it will be brighter than today, I think. And then as we get into Sunday night, clouds continue to stream in, southwest and northeast, kind of that's upper-level moisture that's well above our heads. No rain falling from these. Cooler air starts to filter in more noticeably Sunday evening, Sunday night. Let's get into Monday morning. And I think we will have more sunshine, probably not completely sunny, but more sunshine Monday compared to what we have had, with mountain temperatures in the 30s. Elsewhere, low to mid 40s kind of the rule. A little warmer, mid to upper 40s inside the perimeter Monday morning, with a gusty breeze and noticeably chillier weather filtering back into North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Speaking of, we're going to go ahead and bring up that 7-day extended forecast here for you. And again, you'll notice two things. First of all, we get sunnier. We do get a little cooler Monday, Tuesday, and then a stronger, more noticeable push of cold air as we get into the middle of the week. Temperatures back struggling to hit 50 to 51. And by Thursday, we may be in the mid to upper 50s, but that'll be after a cold start. Temperatures in the low to mid 30s. That's inside the perimeter. City of Atlanta, so outside of I-285. Mid to upper 20s. Again, a possibility across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. So we're going to be watching the forecast for you. Don't anticipate too many changes, but again, new data is coming in. That is the blessing of the time change, is that we get data in just a little bit earlier into the First Alert Weather Center. As Karli mentioned earlier, we are live again at 10 p.m. on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW affiliate. Then join us on WANF for Atlanta News First, the late news tonight at 11, hopefully going on time tonight. And a reminder, you can always grab a check of the First Alert forecast at atlantanewsfirst.com and the First Alert weather app. And again, I hope you all of those folks commenting right now on YouTube, Rick, Avatar Very, can't even see what your avatar is, Richard, wishing you all a wonderful evening. Thanks for watching. Rico, we're just gonna call you Rico, saying they're actually reading this live. I am too shy for that. Yeah, you committed when you put in the comments, right? And then Angela saying Falcons might be playing the New York Jets in the rain tomorrow in New York City. Yeah, same storm system that was looking like it was going to bring us greater rain chances and widespread wet weather here in North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. You know, we kind of lost out. We desperately need the rain. And in fact, I can go ahead and, no, Rico, you are fine. Not distracting. It's just a conversation. It's us chatting as much as it is about the forecast. So if you do have any weather questions, comments, feel free to ask away. I mean, that's the purpose. So don't worry. It's not, like on a traditional newscast. We're here just chatting and talking weather. And there's a little bit of room for just normal kind of conversation behavior there. But to the point that was just made about Falcons and up in New York State, New York City, that rain is already building in. Same storm system that brought us the gloom today. They're actually going to get the rain as we get into tomorrow. Rain moving in from the southwest and north and east. It'll probably be rainy there before sunrise. And it'll be a pretty good slug of moisture as we get into really much of New England, the big I-95 corridor cities, D.C., New York, Boston, on up into Maine. It'll be rainy for them. Wish we got some of that rain, but unfortunately not looking like we were able to cash in on the widespread rain, though a little bit of moisture around today, and we probably will have a little bit more in the way of shower activity this evening, overnight, tonight, into tomorrow morning. Again, thank you all for watching. I want to remind you, you can catch the morning team here streaming tomorrow morning and the 10 o'clock hour. Also, we're streaming again tomorrow at 4:30 in the afternoon, 8 p.m. as well, here to give you the latest news, both regionally, but also, of course, right here in the city of Atlanta, and answering questions as they come in about the forecast in particular. You can always grab that forecast, get an updated look at atlantanewsfirst.com and in the First Alert weather app. We'll see you in just a little bit, about an hour and a half, on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW affiliate, with your complete First Alert forecast and tonight's latest news headlines. Have yourself a wonderful evening.